to this part of the session. I believe you guys have already had sessions with Audrey and Vinay that must have really helped you all. And like
Hi,
when
sir.
hi. So
Good
when
morning.
Mega Model got in touch with me for this particular pageant, I think it's so interesting to have a platform that is online. I know a lot of models who are professional models and have been around for a while and are finding it difficult to find something constructive to do. It's not been 1 week, 2 weeks. We've sort of been at home for almost 2.5 months now. So I think sort of channeling your energies in the right direction, and all of this is going to help you in the longer run. So when things open out and you look at the opportunities that you took on when the lockdown was on and how much you spent time constructively learning, you'll feel good about yourselves. And I'm glad it's open opportunities. Also, what happens is that even when I do Miss India and pageants like that, there are a lot of girls who don't have access to come to Bombay, or their family stops them that they can't come to the city, and they miss out on those opportunities. But I think a great learning through this pandemic is that we can train online as well. Even in Bombay, I mostly do most of my sessions in person or like at academies and stuff like that, but I've been regularly doing these workshops. So that way learning doesn't stop. And this is something that I think Mega Model has sort of spoken about, and they've got people from different fields to train you, whether it's fitness or beauty or pageantry or grooming. So I think make the most of it. What is very important is that how much you apply it to yourself and how much you figure is meant for you. And sitting at home with a book and diary, you will note these things down, but it will only come in handy when you start practically applying these things. Okay, so thank you, Samrid, and the entire team at Mega Model.
Thank you,
um,
Bharat, for such a better introduction. In fact, we were not able to introduce ourselves better than you, actually. Thank you.
Super. Super. Okay, so girls, I'm going to jump right into it. I have seen all of you who've made it to the top 30. So congratulations first. Don't unmute yourself and say thank you and all. I know you're very grateful. So congratulations for making it to the top 30. As a signal of any acceptance or appreciation, you can just do a thumbs up, or there's an emoji on Zoom where you can send a thumbs up. So I'll understand that you're getting it and you're happy about it. Okay. So congratulations for making it to the top 30, and that also means that you are that much closer to being a mega model, and it also sort of gratifies you mentally to know that you're doing the right thing. Now, when it comes to becoming um, a model basically works in the field of fashion. Okay, that's the main purpose. When you study MBBS, you work at a hospital or a clinic, or a medical institute, or when you become a CA, you work at a corporate firm or you work at a CA firm. So the same way, when you become a model, the industry that you enter is fashion, and some people from fashion get into entertainment. Okay. But the first primary thing is fashion. Now, to get into the field of fashion, I need to understand how much you all know what fashion means. So everyone has a diary and a pen, or a phone or somewhere where you can write things down. So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. Just write down one line. I Nikita, have the same jacket you're wearing. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Don't give me bookish answers. Don't give me answers where you feel I'll get impressed. Write very genuinely what you think it is. Okay, and just one or two lines. I don't want paragraphs and essays or whatever. And don't make it like a pageant answer. Don't start talking about human rights and underprivileged children and all. I just want to the point what I'm asking you. Okay, first is, what does fashion mean to you? If someone says the word fashion, or someone says he works in fashion, or this trend is in fashion, what does the word fashion mean to you? Okay, now I'm going to ask a few questions and then I'll ask you to answer them, Vasudha. The next one is, what does style mean to you? the word style. So if someone says that he's very stylish, or this is in style, or he works as a stylist, what does the word style mean to you? Priya is saying she lost her network. I don't know when she said this. Priya, I'm just going to repeat. I asked, what does fashion mean to you and what does style mean to you? The next one is, who inspires your style, or who do you think is very fashionable, or who is your fashion icon? Now, this can be someone who's at your home, your mother, your grandmother. It can also be a Bollywood celebrity. It can be a model. It can be a politician. It can be a sports person. It can be someone of the opposite gender also. You don't necessarily need to dress like that person, but just someone who you think is very fashionable or stylish.
Can you please repeat your question? Actually, I
Who is your
couldn't hear
fashion
you.
icon, Priya?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so for this, you just have to write one word. So I'm going to carry on. 1 second. And the last one is, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, obviously. How would you rate your own sense of fashion or your own sense of style? Now, this does not, I'm not going to ask you this. I'm not going to ask you to read it out loud, this last question. So be honest to yourself. All of us have a room for improvement. So, and a lot of us have restricted avenues, opportunities, and all of that. So genuinely, if you think that you want to look like this, but right now you look like this in terms of your wardrobing, how much would you rate it out of 10? Is everyone done? Just send me a thumbs up or something so I figure that you all know. Okay, so I'm just gonna, obviously I haven't met you guys, so I don't know you all, but I'm just gonna ask you,
Sir, it's
Priyanka?
Priyanka. Sir,
Yeah.
what was the last question?
On a scale of 1 to 10, rate your own fashion style or your own sense of fashion. Okay. Now, I'm just going to take names in random and ask you questions. So just unmute your audio when I take your name, say your name and answer the question. Okay. Ria Saini, what does fashion mean to you?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I think fashion is something that defines our inner beauty.
Okay. Hina Shivnani, what does fashion mean to you?
फैशन मीन्स जैसे अपना स्टाइल कैरी कर रहे हो और कैसे दिख रहे हो वही आपके लिए फैशन है.
Okay. Dr. Jessica Bahadur, what does fashion mean to you?
Yes, sir. To me, fashion is the ongoing trend that the entire world is following.
Okay. Quincy Pereira?
According to me, fashion is being yourself.
Okay. Kumud?
Yes, sir. Fashion is that who makes feel you good and comfortable also.
Okay. Tanishka?
Fashion is something which is in trend, which is trending, and we follow that.
Okay. Poonam?
Thank you, sir, for your question. And whenever I hear the word fashion, for me it is like glamour and a responsibility to represent some other entity. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sumati, what does style mean to you?
Hi, Bharat. First of all, I hope
Hi.
you're doing great. And with that style, I think means for me is that every person has their own traits and qualities, and it is for me, a person does everything differently. So for me, the way person does something is style, and it's
Okay.
not related to any fashion or something.